So when I decided, oh, I'm going to do a video on the TCG Classic, I didn't think about, it's probably very large. This thing is massive. It would not fit my normal recording style. I mean, look at my logo back there. Think about how large that normally is on one of these videos. If you haven't seen one of these in person, which I hadn't until this thing arrived, yes, it is huge. It's also very heavy, but it is a big boy. So I'm going to be kind of breaking into it with this setup here. And once we get down to the cards, we'll be going back to my more traditional unboxing setup. Also, I was trying to center things on the camera, so like, oh, Bulbasaur, he's kind of centered, right? And then I tried to center this, and I realized, like, wow, that's not centered at all. Yeah, because the Pokeball isn't centered. If you do, like, this, like, I can do, like, thumb to pinky here. If I try to do the same thing here, yeah, Pokeball is way to the right. Like, I'm sure you could just eyeball it and tell that, but I didn't. Let me just peel this thing off to get rid of the ugly reflections you guys have been staring at. But yeah, I actually managed to pick this thing up for less than MSRP, and apparently that's not that hard to do. It's still crazy expensive, and if it wasn't for this channel, I would not have purchased this. I actually had, like, a debate about it. I asked people in my Discord, like, hey, is this something that I should spend $250 on? Well, it was like $240 or something like that. But I pitched it as being $250. Yeah, if you're just a collector, this thing I'm sure is going to be really cool. But God, the price for this thing, I think it was $300 MSRP, is just nuts. So it does have here on the top a handle, which isn't the easiest to. Maybe because I have large hands, I can't quite get my fingers in there. I also know that I'm like super late to the party to be talking about this thing, but I decided it would be interesting to check out finally. But yeah, you have a carry handle. Cool. You got some tape here, which is kind of a pain to cut with the way that they did it. And on the other side, these tabs are kind of hard to get pulled out here. So let's lay it back down. And I believe we're going to have to kind of flip our setup here. Got between like my tripod and my studio lights and my microphone. I don't really have good room to do this. All right, bringing the box back in. And there we go. This is a very large display. Starting off right here on the side. Well, that's where a lot of the weight is coming from, in all honesty. We have just a plain black box. Slide it out. And we have another plain black box. Exciting. Open up that tab. And okay, this way. Okay, so those are our decks. So we'll be taking a look at that once we get our set going back to normal. So this is like a smaller. Oh, the handle is stuck. Ah, okay, I get you. So this is like the actual case here. So that's a bit better. If you want to transport this thing around, it's a bit smaller than the full size of the product. All right, so now we have this cardboard sleeve. Just have a Pokeball on one side, and on the other, it just says Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic. But this handle appears to be just in the cardboard, because this is just the sleeve, and you can kind of look on the left side of the screen there. The box actually slides out. I'm going to get that out of there. All right, now we have the raw case, and you can actually see right here, again, Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic. It's actually kind of like a leathery material going on here. This is almost like a cloth, like, belt, almost like you would expect from like a t-shirt, just like being pulled super tight. But obviously playmat, and on the other side, obviously playmat. All right, so it looks like I need to lay it down this way. It's hard to tell. No. If you do it from this side, you have like the text up. So text up, kind of makes sense. Pop it open, and okay. That's a nice looking display. I will say, a lot of negative space in here. Like, I'm sure you could make use of it, right? You could have like some like slabs or whatever, like top-loaded cards. I'm sure that there's like, yeah, there's a good gap. Yeah, so you could store things in these side slots here. But we do have our deck boxes. So we have the grass right here. And so there's nothing in these, so I'll probably get a better look at these when I have the more proper camera angle going on. But we have all three of our deck boxes. Then whatever this is right here, it is banded. It was only banded on that side. That's interesting. So there's just the Pokeball. Wow, fingerprint magnet. That was fast. We have a foam insert, and oh yes, this thing. So we'll also probably just swap to the other angle so you guys can get a better view of this. But this is your condition markers, your like damage counters, yada yada. But this is kind of interesting. I won't lie, I don't fully know what it's for. You have these little balls in here, and I'm guessing you just, okay, well, I'm not really holding it that level, but you drop the ball in there. But I don't really know exactly what that's for. Like, Is that basically just like a fancy coin flip? You have like heads on those two are tails? I don't exactly know. It would probably help if I actually played the TCG more than just super casually. I mostly play Pocket these days. But we'll take a closer look at that here in a minute. So let's get the set swapped back over. Yeah, I don't really feel like setting up my any of my little figure displays in the background. I think just some purple light will do us for this video. But I admit there's the knock on my studio lights really hard. Let's get that fixed somewhat. I'm happy those studio lights are like super durable because I have put some damage into those guys. So let's get a better look at our fingerprint magnet here. Yeah, very glossy side, like very different material, like on the top, the sides, and the bottom, all being like a different finish. But yeah, you definitely need to keep that plastic thing in here because those little marbles were actually just like rolling around in here, without that being on it. But yeah, I still don't fully know what these are for. Maybe you'll have to look it up. But I mean, you drop marble in and it spins around, and what do you know? It landed in the same one again. Yeah, probably not the best odds with it, you know. It's likely going to land in certain spots more likely than others. But then you have your... Wow, that has like left some stuff on my hands. Look at that. I actually washed my hands like right before I started filming. Like, it has left fibers all over my hands. I am questioning this product. Like, I don't know what part of the box was doing it. Was it the top of this thing, maybe? Where's like my cleanest finger? Probably that one. Yeah, it's the top of this. This thing is like leaving fiber behind. That's terrible. Yeah, you can even see it like on the side of the box here. Like, yeah, that's not good. Like, the idea is that you're going to store, like, you know, you're going to be taking this thing with you to, like, tournaments and stuff, right? So you have all your condition markers and stuff all in one little box. It has a built-in, like, playmat, right? A really good, high-quality built-in playmat. You have, like, your deck boxes, like, everything you need all in one case. It's kind of like the idea behind this thing. But if you're going to get that crap all over your cards, granted, you should be sleeving your cards, but stuff can still get inside. That's trash. Like, for $300, that is terrible. Like, the fact that it's just... That is coming from somewhere, man. Like... I hate that. Alright, I guess I'll have to wash my hands again before we get into the cards. But we do have our poison counter here. Our poison condition marker. So that would literally just go on the card to indicate that you've been poisoned. And then we have the burn marker. And these are actually kind of nice. I don't want to say... Yeah, I don't want to say these are metal. They feel like they're like ceramic, but a bit heavier than I would say normal ceramic would be. But they're not too bad. They're definitely going to like serve their purpose and look a bit fancier when they're like laying on a card. But yeah, the damage counters are obviously extremely cool. So we can take this pyramid of 100s out, open up the next cone of 50s. Yeah, like I work as a technician. I'm used to having extremely dirty hands. And so my first thought was like, you know, my panic reaction was like, did I not wash my hands? Like, no, I didn't even have work today. I'm off work today. There's no reason that my hands would look like that. Like, and, yes, I washed my hands before I started filming. Like, I usually try to, because, you know, you guys are going to be, like, staring at my hands. So, like, that is just kind of trash. That's how that came out. But we have our cone here of 10s, and I'm sure you guys understand the idea. But in case you didn't, let's say that you had a card that took 160 damage. Well, there's 100 damage. Well, it took 160, so we add a 50, and we add a 10. Instead of having like multiple markers on a card or whatever, you can just have one stack indicating 160. As far as my like lighting was kind of off, I think it's a bit better. I guess we'll find out in post, you know, whatever I can do to it. But yeah, it's simple idea. You have 160 damage, right? And I mean, they're cones. I do like how they're different shapes, right? Like they're different heights. Like the 100 is the thickest, followed by the 50 and the 10, being relatively similar. Like if we do another 50 on top of that 10, yeah, I'd say the 50 and the 10 are pretty much the same size. The 10 might be a little bit thinner, but the 100 being thicker, you know, has more of an impact. Yeah, something like multiple markers or whatever, you just put that on top of card. I think it's cool. I think that is actually a really unique, like, use case. Like, if you're playing at tournaments all the time, I'm not saying you have to buy this thing, by no means. Like, you know, we've been going forever without these, and I'm sure that there are, like, 3D printed options and fan-made things that can make, you know, tracking damage and stuff a little bit easier. Not that it really needs to be easier, but, you know, it could be more clean. And I think this is, like, a cool thing. If I was going to tournaments, like, all the time, Like, I would probably want to bring this thing along. But let's box that up. I need to grab the plastic. I didn't have it with me at the time. It's, like, behind me. But, we'll move on to the decks after I go wash my hands. Alright, I give my desk a brief wipe down as well. And into the most fun part of this box. So, let's open this back. Oh, wrong way. Come on. Open this back up. And, I mean, we just have the only, like, white stuffer in here. We have this basic styrofoam. Oh, we have a card. Not for official tournaments. Cards included in the Pokemon TCG Classic cannot be used at official tournaments, except for basic energy cards. For rules and instructions for playing Pokemon TCG, check out pokemon.com/TCG rules. Welcome, trainer. If you're a longtime player of the Pokemon trading card game, you may notice some older cards have been updated from the Pokemon TCG Classic. Be sure to read these cards carefully for possible changes. For example, Professor Oak is now a supporter card, so you can play only one per turn. Please note that any updates to the cards in this product apply only to this product. They don't change how existing cards work in other play environments. But we have 3 decks here. So we have a Suicune, a Lugia, and a Ho-Oh. Man, I said that weird. But then we also have 3 sets of sleeves. All slightly different colors, one being black, one being a very light silver, one being more of like a gray silver. If you want to help support my poor financial decisions buying boxes like the TCG Classic, then check out my description. Down there you're going to find an Amazon link specifically to my Amazon store. Now, I'm not actually selling you anything. There are things that I recommend, especially my favorite top loaders and sealed sleeves. I just think that they're really cool, and it's personally what I use, and I've purchased way too many of. But you don't actually have to buy those or anything else that I recommend on that page. You can click on that link and then go shop for whatever you're going to buy anyways, and I will get a kickback from Amazon. So it's a free or very cheap way, depending how you use it, to support the channel. Either way, let's get back to the video. And yes, I wore a green beanie on the green screen. I thought it would be funny. So I guess we'll tear into this Ho-Oh one first. I don't know why I'm saying his name weird now. So splice that open. And if you're wondering, like, oh, maybe the cards in here are super high valuable. There are a couple from my understanding. But if you're buying this, by opening it, you are losing any value that it had. Like with most things Pokemon. But we do have Ho-Oh EX. Not too bad looking, but not really what I'm looking for. You know, I want to see, like, the old stuff. Yeah, like our classic energy. You know, I'm just gonna start laying, even though I wiped off the desk, just in case, I'm gonna, like, lay them on this deck box here. Yeah, classic energy with a new, like, hollow effect going on. That's exciting. So yeah, they did note, like, yeah, you can use these energies. I mean, obviously, energies can basically beat anything. But there are a lot of these in here. So a fire, electric, so this is a fire and electric deck. And here we go. So, does it have... Oh, they did actually update the copyright info on these, so it's 2023. This card cannot be used at official tournaments. And of course, they changed the set symbol there. So, we have Clefable. I believe this was in base set. I know it was at least in, like, the Legendary Collection, which was just, like, a compilation anyways, right? Of, like, base set 1 and 2. Double colorless energy. They do, like, this hollow effect on everything. Oh, I guess they did, but I do like the, you know, the way that it plays on that computer search card. That looks cool. So then we have Supporter Bill, and this was like that weird era where, like, the effect that they did on the borders of their cards made it look like the card was, like, aged and beat up. Like, I wonder how many people have had a card, you know, from this era with these, like, faded yellow borders that thought this card's in bad condition. Like, I don't want to buy this, or I'm just going to get rid of this thing in my collection. Like, no, that's an actual design that they went with. To be fair, I don't think it looks bad. Like, I think it looks good. But it obviously, you know, makes it look like a faded, old, beat-up card. And we have the Professor Oak. I mean, it's just a classic. You kind of have to throw this one in there. Do these have the normal backs on them? Yeah, they do. I was wondering if they would have, like, because they're not tournament legal, they might have, like, a different effect going on. But yeah, Oak is now a supporter card. So they have a little supporter text up there in the corner. Then we have our base set Charmander, who is not shadowless. Come on, they could have done shadowless versions. I mean, I actually do have this Charmander as a shadowless from base set. But if you're not going to do, like, the first edition stamp, make it shadowless, come on. We have another one. Yeah, I'm probably going to... Oh, I was expecting 4. So we have the Charmeleon here. Again, there's adding like these hollow effects to these old base set cards, which I don't think is really necessary, but it does kind of add a bit to like the whole like premiumness of this product, I suppose. So we have the Pokeball that actually has a scratch in the hollow right there. Great to get it straight out of the box like that. We have another Pokeball, the Rockets admin. This is from the Rocket sets. Doesn't look too bad. We have another one. Of course, Switch, just kind of a classic one you have to have. The Ultra Ball. And then Double Colorless Energy. Yeah, I remember when this was still a thing. Oh, okay. Well, I love that I immediately drop the, like, I have to assume the highest valued card in this little collection. We have the Holo base set Charizard. I mean, obviously, it's the reprint version. It's not actually base set Charizard, but it's a reprint of base set Charizard. Yeah, I'm just assuming that value-wise, I mean, it's Charizard. It's a reprint of base set. Like, it's going to be the highlight of this product for most people. It does look really cool. Like, I mean, it's just, like, probably the most iconic Pokemon card, and I say that as someone who doesn't really understand the Charizard hype. Like, I'm not a part of the Charizard hype. I think he's, like, overhyped. But I can still say, like, man, it's hard to deny this is the most, like, classic Pokemon card. Like, the one that people will think of when they're thinking of, like, old base set and yada yada. We have Ponyta, which actually didn't they do this in a McDonald's promo? Or am I crazy? Like, I swear this card they also had a McDonald's promo. That's weird to have, like, a very modern Ponyta here. I actually don't care for that. Like, I do like that they're not limiting themselves to, like, just base set and base set 2, right? Like, they're branching out. But they went a bit too modern with that Ponyta. I do like this Magmar, though. I want to say it was at least in base set 2. We have our classic fat Pikachu here. I mean, yeah, it's a Charizard, you know, it's electric and fire deck, so it kind of makes sense. But then again, we go on to this looks like a Sun and Moon era. Can someone correct me? It looks like a Sun and Moon era Raichu here. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go, like, that modern with this kind of thing, calling it classic. I will say, that hollow effect being added to what was just a common card, I mean, that looks sick. Like, the original Voltorb card looked cool, but, like, you know, it was kind of plain. Adding that hollow to the electricity, okay, that was really well done. We have the hollow Electrode. Obviously, you know, following that one up. Zapdos, again, another very modern card here. Not really seeing the point in including that. We have the Clefairy, which is another just, like, you know, iconic card from old Pokemon. Dunsparce. Okay, so we're going to some different eras here. Again, it's adding hollow effects to cards that even were originally just commons with no other, like, special types out there. Just from various different eras. We have the Miltank, Boss's Orders. I mean, I'm sure that's going to be on, like, every deck here. We have the Pokemon Fan Club Rare Candy, a very modern Rare Candy. The Scorching Charcoal. So I think this is one of the ones that they did in other products. Like, they featured some of these classic collection cards in other things. I know there's a Mr. Mime that is going to be in one of these decks that you could also get in another box. And I believe this Scorching Charcoal is also one that was in another product. We have the Super Rod and the Super Scoop Up. And finally, okay, that's funny. The one that has my username on it ends up being the last card in the box. I'm happy. I would say that the dark sleeves are more fitting for this one. Yes, I'm actually going to sleeve all of these, like, right now, just because I can. Like, I feel like it's fitting just to go ahead and get them in the sleeves. Obviously, I'm not going to make you guys watch all of it. I'll either do, like, a time-lapse thing, or I'll just, like, cut out whenever I am not speaking, like right now. Now, should I double sleeve these? Yeah, probably. Will they fit in the deck box double sleeved? Probably not. So, they're just gonna go in their sleeves that they were kind of, like, designed to go inside of. Not really designed, I mean, they're kind of designed to go inside of any sleeve that fits Pokemon cards, but the sleeves that came with them. This is probably, like, the least jokey video that I've done in a while. Like, normally I, like, have, like, entertaining things to say and talk about, but, like, I don't know. This is a $300, like, premium product. I feel like it deserves less joking around. Although I'm sure that there are 200,000 videos out there on this thing. Although I actually am curious, like, how popular is this, right? Like, in, like, the YouTube space specifically. Like, I have to imagine when it released, these videos were popping up all over the place. But I'm sure a lot of YouTubers probably realized, like, hey, you know, especially at MSRP being $300, like, why would I pick one of these up for $300 if nobody's interested in it, right? Like, it's a $300 investment, and you know, like, because, you know, when you're doing YouTube, you know, obviously, like, I collect, right? That's the primary thing that I care about. But at the same time, it is an investment, right? Like, if you're making money off of YouTube, it's like, you know, is this video going to get views? And if you're going to put $300 into it, and every other big YouTuber is already covering the product anyways, and it's a default product, right? There's no, like, mystery behind it. There's no packs involved. What you get is what you get. So you watch one video on it, you kind of already know what's inside. And with it being a $300 product, a majority of people, including myself, were not interested. Of course, my opinion has now changed, especially because I got it for, I think it was like $240 that I paid. But, you know, especially since I was able to get it for less than MSRP, I was kind of talking with my wife about it. I'm like, look, this is kind of like a now or never, right? Like, yes, these things aren't, like, super cared for right now. I could easily see them in a couple years. Like, it's probably, we're only a couple years away, if I had to guess, from these becoming, like, sought after. Like, they're harder to get your hands on, and they get more expensive. And, like, I was shocked just to see it for under MSRP in this era, right? When we are going through the scalper overinflated price era, like, to see this thing going for under MSRP was just kind of surprising. I guess that kind of tells you how much people were just priced out of it, right? Like, it wasn't really worthwhile for most, like, collectors or players. I guess maybe I won't sleeve all of the decks on camera. Like, it feels like kind of just a waste of recording space. But I at least want to do one deck. That way you can see, like, how much room there actually is in the deck box once all cards are sleeved. And maybe that will kind of tell you if double sleeving is actually an option for these or not. I'm really big on card protection. But there is a balance point, right? Where it's like, look, I want to be able to actually see the thing. Like, I'm a collector for a reason. Like, I want to be able to see it. And when it's double sleeved, you know, you kind of take away from, especially the hollow effect, but you do take away from the card itself when you double sleeve. It does protect the card a lot better, right? Like, that's the biggest upside to me, is it protects the cards, the double sleeve. Especially if you use one of my fancy Dragon Shield sleeves where it's, like, sealable and the card is, like, you know, there's no chance of those fibers from this box ever touching the card if I put it in one of my Dragon Shield sleeves. So, you know, that whole, like, Amazon link thing down below in the description, they're linked there if you want the sleeves that I 100% recommend over any other kind of inner sleeve. Like, they're just by far the best. Obviously, that's an opinion. But if you do decide that you want to pick those up from the Amazon link below, yes, I do get a kickback if you pick them up. Not specifically those, basically anything after clicking on my Amazon link. But those are just highly recommended by me. Amazon's actually really strict when it comes to their disclaimers. I'm actually going to have like hashtag ad pulled up on screen while I was talking about that. Because, like, they are, like, crazy strict on it. You have to have a visual on screen, and you have to have a verbal. Like, you have to have audio and video disclaimer that this is, like, something I'll get a kickback from. Which is a good thing. Like, I think that you should be doing that, but, like, it is kind of weird that, like, oh, I just offhandedly mention it because it happens to be something that I'm, you know, talking about. And nope, I had to pull up the ad thing. I'm not being paid to talk about it. I'm just being paid if you actually go click the link and buy a thing. Alright, so you do get a handful of spare sleeves, which is always nice. But all of our cards are nice and sleeved up from the Ho-Oh Charizard deck here. So, I'm happy. But we're gonna take our fire deck and load our cards inside to see what kind of space we're dealing with here. Yeah, I'd say you could probably double sleeve, like there is some space in there, but it might be a pretty close call to double sleeve in this. But I mean, honestly, you'd probably be fine. But magnetic, close, and we have the Charizard deck. There, we'll use that to put cards on Verdant Fiber. But I guess next up, actually, so we have water here. I'm doubting this is a water grass. I'm guessing this is going to be your Blastoise. So Venusaur's probably in here. He's my favorite boy, so we're going to save that. We're going to move on to this Suicune, which is likely where the Blasty Boy lies. So, of course, we have the Suicune EX, number 10 of 34, from Classic CLB, like, I don't know, it's a Classic Collection, whatever, but I don't understand what it's supposed to stand for. Of course, water energy, we're going to have a bunch of energies in here. So what other typing are you going to be? Ah, Psychic. Cool. So this is a Psychic Water. Oh, are we gonna have the old Alakazam in here? Oh, I didn't even think about that. We're gonna have the old Mewtwo in here. So this was the Wizards promo, right? Like the black stamp, from the movie. Am I crazy? Is this not the movie Mewtwo? I don't remember. Computer search. Yep, we saw that in the other. We also saw Bill, so we're probably... Oh, we only have one Bill. Double colorless. All right. Oh, nope, there's another Bill. They just kind of separated him in this deck for some reason. That might have been a mistake. Of course, we have Oak again. Yeah, welcome to Pokemon, man. Like, you're gonna have, like, a lot of, like, staple trainers across your decks, which does make this product a little bit more lame. But we have our base set Squirtle, which is just one of my favorite childhood cards. With that holo effect, though, it makes his head look really funny. It looks like he has, like, a Pac-Man head going on, because the holo effect is kind of deleting the inside of his mouth. But it's because of the bubbles. Then, of course, we have the Wartortle. I mean, just another one of my favorites. I love the Squirtle line. It is like a really close second to Bulbasaur. Oh, and then Squirtle again. Just bizarre packing here. Another Wartortle. Computer search. Pokeball. Another Pokeball. Rockets admin. Another Rockets admin. A Switch. Another Switch. An Ultra Ball. An Ultra Ball. Another double colorless, that's like way further back in the deck than the first one. But then, of course, what I would consider to be the featured card, we have the base set Blastoise. You'd think they would have put these on the front, but I guess putting them in the middle does protect them better. Because, like, to be honest, the box these were in, ironically, for this being like a premium product, really didn't protect them that well. So, at least they're putting what cards people would really care about further in the deck. But, okay, super happy for the reprint base set Blastoise. We have Staryu, I would also say, like, Sun and Moon era, maybe XY era. But then, of course, Starmie being one of my favorites. And, wow, we got 4 Starmie on that card. Don't know what era you are from, but I do like it. Then, of course, we have one of our, just like that Bill, weathered effect going on with the sides of this Magikarp here. And with the Gyarados as well, so these came from the same era. We have Lapras, just an amazing Lapras card. I'm happy that they picked this one to reprint. This is like one of the better looking Lapras. Of course, the Articuno. Yeah, I guess you are going to have your legendary birds in all of these. We have Zapdos in the other. We have Articuno in this one. So we're definitely... Wait, did we have Moltres in that one? Because no, maybe Moltres isn't going to be a thing. We did the fire deck. I don't remember if Moltres was in there or not. We have Hypno, the Drowsy, and Mr. Mime. So yes, this is the card that you could get in another one of their products. So you don't have to buy this specifically to get this Mr. Mime. I mean, of course, you can also just buy, singles. We have Surges, Rattata, and Raticate. I'm happy that they're including the trainer-owned cards. These are one of my favorite things growing up. So that's a nice inclusion. Of course, now it's a thing again with Journey Together and, our new Rocket set. We have Kangaskhan, very modern card. Boss's Orders. Drops in the Ocean, I believe, is also available outside of this product in this form. We have the Fisherman, the Pokemon Fan Club, Super Rod, Rare Candy, and again, we are ending it off with my namesake. That just makes me happy. That's just a funny coincidence. I'm happy about that. And this video isn't any longer than I intended it to be. But we are finally on to the last deck, and then we'll do the bonus card of the day and end out this video. So, slide these out, and we have our Lugia EX. And yeah, actually it is green down there, that makes sense. Yeah, so this is going to be where our Venusaur is. I probably should have noticed that. Of course, our classic grass energy, and oh, it's actually mixed with fighting. So we have our fighting energies in here. Well, I'm gonna freak somebody out. Yeah, I have a double-jointed thumb. It can do some funny things. Yeah, so bunches of energies, and we are moving on to the actual good things. And by good things, I mean computer search, but again, for the billionth time. No, Versus Seeker! Why are you here? Why? You need to be in the back. You need to be in the back of the deck, alright? Match the other ones. Then the Super Rod, then the Sunseed. This deck is laid out very differently. Okay, but I guess, we're not gonna have the fun thing at the end. We have the Rare Candy, the Switch, unless there's more of them. We have Onyx, also a very modern Onyx. We have Bill, and wouldn't you know it, Bill. I know, super shocking. Then we have my Bulba. Just the classic boy. I don't know, I love Bulbasaur. I don't get me wrong, Absol is still my favorite Pokemon. But Bulbasaur is a extremely close second, him and Venusaur. I mean, Ivysaur is cool, but, you know, the angsty teen years. I guess we're going to see that here in a second. So we have Ivysaur. Which, I don't know, I still like Ivysaur. But, come on, Bulbasaur and Venusaur are just superior. But 2 Ivysaurs from base set. Computer search, again. We have the Pokeball, the Professor Oak, Professor Oak, Professor Oak, Professor Oak. Jesus. Rockets Admin and Rockets Admin. So those are in every deck. We have the Switch, the Ultra Ball, double colorless energy. Like, I get they were trying to make these decks, like, competitively viable against each other, right? So you have to have, like, you know, same, like, staple trainers. I don't know, man. I think as a collector brain, not, like, you know, like, combat brain. Like, my collector brain hates it. Like, I wanted, like, unique cards in these things. But we do have the Venusaur from base set. Don't get me wrong, I love him, but you have to admit that Charizard is more iconic. Even though this is like my chase card from base set, right? Like, I want this boy as a first edition, but that's never gonna happen. We have Paris, one of the like clay doll figure cards. So nice to see some inclusion from the different, you know, mediums of art that they go with. We have Parasect, Scyther. Yes, I actually have this boy as well from, I think base set 2. I don't remember. All I remember is it's like a kind of expensive card, so hey, you can get it as a reprint for probably a lot less. I think that it's only like $50 maybe. I say only. I don't spend a lot of money on singles. Like, I see a single, and if it's like expensive, I am very unlikely to actually pick it up. But Sandshrew into Sand Slash, getting some more modern cards. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Doduo, and Dodrio. Okay, going back a few generations to this one, you know, compared to his pre-evolved form, like, we are going back for the Dodrio. They did not pick the same set for that. Of course, we have the classic Chansey as well. Snorlax, also very modern. Didn't they do this Snorlax in like a blister as well? Like, you can get it as like a promo, like a Cosmos Holo. We have Boss's Orders, the Pokemon Fan Club, and it actually ends off the Pokemon Nurse, which is a very nice looking card that I don't think I've ever seen before, or at least it's not familiar to me. I mean, it's just bootleg Nurse Joy. I mean, blue hair Nurse Joy. Okay, interesting way to end that one off. Should have ended off with a Versus Seeker, but I'll accept the Nurse. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Would you actually want to pick this thing up? I actually want to use one of those sleeves to sleeve up this little thing right here. But would you be willing to pick this thing up? Like, I know it was $300 at MSRP, but, you know, if you could get it for what I did for $240, which seems to be pretty easy to do, like, does that sound more reasonable to you? I guess I just want to know what your guys' general thoughts are on this thing. I was really debating on not getting it, but during this drought of everything being overpriced, being able to get something for undervalue is just, you know, a nice thing. You know, in like 10 years, some of those cards I'm saying, like, oh, these are more modern. Like, those will probably increase, like, the value for this thing and, like, the interest in this thing, right? Because, like, you have, you know, like a wider variation, like more generations of cards going on. There, those can be in the back for the outro. Anyways, time for bonus card of the day. Actually, something right down there in that corner. Picking a random card from the back, as always, playing Guess the Year. So, this card is not sleeved. I always leave these in the condition they were when I bought them. And there is a big old dent right there in the back of the card. Aside from that, it's not too bad. A little dot of whitening, which might literally just come off. Nope, that is actual whitening. Yeah, a little beat, but really not bad. I'd be afraid to go too modern with this, though. Just because of, like, the condition that, you know, the damage that it does have. I'm gonna go... Let's go 2020. And, oh, 2018, we have the White Kyurem GX. You know, for 2018, like, yes, I would prefer my cards to be in better condition, but really, it's not bad, right? For a 2018 card. I mean, it's also, you know, a full art, legendary GX, so there's some interest in this. Granted, it is a promo, Sun and Moon 141, so that does lower some of the hype, but it's just a really cool card. I'm happy to get the GX Kyurem. It would have been more fitting if I would have pulled like a more vintage card today, but you know, that's the fun of the bonus card of the day. We get what we get. But if you are new to this channel, I guess I need to reintroduce you to the Green Screen Man. Hey there, I'm the Green Screen Man. You know that weird like twitching feeling, like a little throbbing you get behind your left eye once in a while? That's me, chroma keying myself behind your left eyeball, trying to speak to you in Morse code. Anyways, if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, all of that fun stuff. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members: Pokey Hoarder J, Obsidian, Candace Reynolds, Sis Crazy Card Collector, Mr. Nintendo, Smokey of the Sun, and Jordan Daniels. I haven't thought about what video to link you guys to, but I'm gonna link you to what I thought might have also been another poor financial decision. Gonna give my future self something weird to look for here. But if you just want to binge watch something, I have a playlist of all of my Pokemon videos on this side, and above my head I'm going to have a link to my community Discord if you feel like joining in the conversation. Thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I will see all of you next time, probably behind your left eye. Goodbye for now.